Welcome to the Average Nobody's Podcast, the ultimate home for wrestling enthusiasts, beer drinkers, movie quoters, and pop culture connoisseurs. Here are your hosts, Matt and Ryan.
Welcome to the Average Nobody's Podcast, number 53 for October 26th, 2017. On today's show, we've got Bill's Mafia talk, companies versus the internet, and Justin Timberlake is going to have us naked by the end of this podcast. You can chat with us on Twitter at Average Nobodies, toss us a like on Facebook at Average Nobodies, and heart all of our pictures on Instagram, again, at Average Nobodies. Don't forget, this podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, and everywhere else where podcasts are located. My name is Matt, and here with me is
Ryan.
And
special guest, Robert Emma.
Rob Emma. We actually, it was funny because I think it was episode 50. We were kind of like talking about like the history of our podcast.
Yep.
Because this wasn't our first podcast. Our first podcast was the RFMV podcast. And Rob was our first guest, our first and only guest.
Oh,
right,
I was a nutcase though, guys.
That was like recorded in the back
nutcase.
room on these in this little like, yeah.
I was all excited like a girl, like, I'm gonna get to talk, and I couldn't even make sense, just saying things. So
Rob is visiting us from West Coast.
very excited. Was more excited to get a little better weather. It's kind of funny. I live in Seattle and it rains, and I was like, oh great, everyone's talking about it's 70. I'm gonna enjoy myself, and I come here, it's raining, and over there it's 65. So
Really? It's nice there?
it's nice there. Can you believe it? No one's killing themselves this week.
That's good. It's gonna bring the rate per year.
Yeah,
per
so
year down.
maybe I won't get a dirty look this morning, right? But yeah, people, hey, 9 days straight, 10 days straight, sometimes just rain, no sun.
Jesus, I don't think I can do that. I hate rain too because it's just such like, at least with snow, if it's just snowing a little bit out and it's not like crazy accumulation, like you're not getting wet. Like you don't have to really worry about
It's kind
it.
of pretty.
It's a little cold, it's refreshing kind of. Rain, it's just everything gets fucking wet. Not to mention also I hate rain now because my car has a leak in the roof, so every time it fucking rains, I get rain. So it's like a whole other thing.
You get
It's
some
like,
duct tape in there.
Well, it's not like
I gotta do
that type
something.
of rain.
I gotta do something.
It's not the rain that would be able to drip into your car.
It's just like mist.
It's mist. It's mist. But sometimes, the hail's nuts. You get these golf balls coming down like, oh, shit. Like,
Jesus.
It's terrible. Just terrible. But, God, these guys are awesome. I'm very excited.
How long you here for, Rob?
I'm here till next Saturday, but I got to go to Florida and Connecticut and New York for some business meetings.
You're all over the place. You're still a maniac.
Yeah, still.
So this past weekend, I went out to Buffalo. So went out to Buffalo to see a Bills game. Bucks were playing. Got these tickets for free. Figured, this would be a good opportunity to hang with Bills Mafia. So we get out there, and so the tailgate lot that you want to be in for Bills Mafia is called the Hammer Lot. I don't
Sounds
know.
appropriately named.
It's so strange because it's not like Bill's Mafia lot. It's not like drink beer lot. It's like Hammer lot. So it's like you're like it really cuts deep. It's like, oh, I get it. Like
I should
these
be here.
these people are animals. Like the Hammer lot.
Psychopaths.
Like only people would name it the Hammer lot. Why is it called the Hammer lot? Probably someone got a hammer stuck in their head one tailgate. Like that's what they called it. Anyway, so we get there and we're like, there's no way we're gonna figure out because. As you guys know, like football stadiums are pretty big.
Yeah.
The football stadium has its own parking lots around it, just like Gillette would. But then outside of that, there's tailgating lots, like in a neighborhood. It's just like a residential neighborhood. Oh wow! So we're like, we're not going to be able to find this because we're outsiders. We don't know like really where anything is. So we just happen to. We're just like, we'll drive to the stadium, and if we find it, we do. If not, we'll walk and find it. We happen to park 2 rows over from where we wanted to be. We were in the Hammer lot, and Pinto Ron, who I don't know if you guys know Pinto Ron. I'll explain in a minute. Did you see the Barstool documentary on Bills Mafia, either one of you guys?
No.
So anyway, he's this guy, lifelong Bills fan. Every tailgate, he does this ceremony where he gets a burger. One burger.
You know where this is
Yeah,
going.
One burger.
Unfortunately.
And he sticks it out like this, and with his, for bad radio people, I have the burger above my head. He has the bun in one hand, the rest of the burger in the other hand. And these guys on top of a conversion van, he screams for ketchup and mustard. He needs ketchup and mustard, and these people squirt ketchup and mustard into him. But it's not like they have big bottles of ketchup, but one guy has like one of those like caulking guns full of mustard, and he's just squirting mustard. He's just getting covered.
Well, I saw the Snapchat.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what?
God.
Now that I know the backstory, it doesn't make any more sense.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching the Snapchat blind almost, and I'm like, why is he doing this? Now that I know, it still doesn't make sense.
And the best thing is, everybody was texting me like, "Who's that guy? Like, Bill's Mafia is crazy." I'm like, hold on a second. Like, that is what happens every week. This is a tradition. So
Every home game.
So every home game. Yeah.
Sorry.
So anyway, he's called Pinto Ron because he has a Pinto. That's what he shows up to the game in. But not only that, but like it's a station wagon Pinto, and he has like on the hood of the car, he sets up this huge grill. So there's cooking like all these meats and they're just giving away food. And then they have this bowling ball set up, right? So we hear at 11 o'clock, that's when all the Pinto Ron stuff starts happening. So at like 10:30, we grab a few beers and we head over a few aisles over in cars, and we head over there, and we're hanging out with Bill's Mafia. I was wearing my Bucks hat, but I put a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt on to like distract from it. So everybody was like, "Oh, Stone Cold," and I was like, "Yes."
Nobody sees the hat.
So go over to do a bowling ball shot. So they have a bowling ball set up. The 3 holes, the thumb hole, they pour this liquor in it. I don't know what the hell the liquor is. I couldn't taste it because every time someone goes up and there's hundreds of people taking a shot out of this bowling ball. So every time someone takes a shot, they take a Clorox wipe and they wipe down the bowling ball. It was like, I thought it was a baby wipe. It wasn't. Because when I fucking put that thing to my mouth, all I could taste was like cleaning products on my mouth. I'm like, it made me feel a little good and also very bad because I'm like, this is
clean.
It's clean.
Yeah.
And then so you take the shot and then you have to slam the bowling ball to the ground. And like where you're standing, there's just a divot because the bowling ball keeps hitting the ground. It just makes a divot in the ground. So bowling balls. And then all of a sudden it gets closer to 11 and all of a sudden they have these big speakers and they play Pour Some Sugar on Me. They start it up.
Wow.
And then that's when Pinto Ron comes out and the fucking ketchup and everything. It was
Does Pinto Ron work for them?
No, Pinto Ron is just a fan. He's just a season ticket holder fan, and he's a maniac.
What a great...
He gets covered head to toe in ketchup before every game.
Is he going to the game?
So yeah, but I think that he changes. I think that's why they do it at
so.
11 because you have 2 hours until the 1 o'clock game. But yeah, it was nuts. My biggest takeaway from going to Buffalo, honestly, a great town. It wasn't It wasn't snowing. It wasn't crazy
Are you just
cold. It was a
saying
beautiful
that?
day. No, all the people I met were very nice, very welcoming. They're maniacs tailgating. I just don't understand how anybody goes to work on Mondays.
Oh.
After fucking the way they drink and tailgate. Are you showing them the?
Yeah. So we'll keep listening, but for again, perfect radio. I'm showing Rob the video of Pinto Rod.
Go to my Instagram. It's at Matt from RI on my Instagram and check it out.
You know what's so funny? I was expecting a guy just like this. No
He
word
looks
of
like
a
what
lie.
I think Pinto Ron would look like.
100%.
Solely based on your description.
It's like you see him, like, this is amazing.
Yeah. So that's what, and the best is like, it's not only like, it's gotten to the point now, it's like the pageantry behind it. The fans eat it up. And they start playing Pour Some Sugar on Me, and he just comes out and he's playing to the crowd. It's so funny too, because we lost my brother at this point.
Oh my God. I'm sorry for the people. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you gotta.
This is the wildest thing. This guy literally right now has a white t-shirt, mustard and ketchup all over his...
Yeah.
And he's just holding the burger out like that.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
please,
like
please, sir.
still.
Please,
sir, may I have
sir.
some more?
May I have some more?
Anyone see the Canadian flag, by the way?
Oh no!
Very
So
close.
that's how we knew we saw him, because he has this conversion van in the. So I'll also, if I remember, I'll put the video on our Instagram
Please
too. So at
do.
Average Nobodies. So we lost Mitch walking up to it,
Shocker.
because obviously. So me, Tom, and John, we're like waiting near the bowling ball shot. We all did the bowling ball shot. We met some guys that were pretty cool next to us. They wanted the shotgun with us.
But you destroyed
It was
him.
funny because I was in the back of the van. We rented like this like Dodge Journey. It was like a van hybrid mix, whatever. So I'm in the back of the van, like getting another beer. We bought these guys were selling big glass mugs. Me and Tom bought big glass mugs. They hold 2 beers, so we were drinking out of those. And all of a sudden I hear some guy go, "Hey, anybody want a shotgun a beer with me?" And I fucking whipped around as fast as I possibly could. And I just fucking demolished this kid in shotgunning. And then he was like our best friend for the rest of the day, him and his 2 buddies. They were Bill's Mafia, but it was their first time tailgating with Bill's Mafia. So, which was cool.
Before you keep going, for those of our listeners that don't know, I can confidently say there's not another human being in the universe that can shotgun a beer faster than Matt Fieri. I've seen it too many times to doubt your skills. My favorite time, not to go off subject, is when we went down to URI for homecoming.
Yes,
And we were in that hotel room. and this we were meeting some of my friends. I went to URI for college, and this kid who was pretty drunk at the time, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna shotgun a beer. I can drink a beer faster than anybody. And the look on his face when he was still drinking and Matt finished was the face of like, I looked like I just like ripped his parents' throats out.
He stopped.
He was so upset. He's like, what? I thought I was gonna win. We're like, buddy, we told you not to race him in a shotgun of a beer.
Did you watch John's Snapchat?
Yes.
So you saw the kid's face, right?
That's my favorite face. It's just like, I got it, and then he's like, you know, for those of you who know you shotgun a beer, you kind of start low and go high, and then you finish at your peak.
Yeah.
And the people who just stay at their peak and are also looking over at Matt, who's already finished, and it's just this face of
I mean,
defeat.
what are we talking about for this kid? Is he like a thin kid? Is he like a kid who was cool? Like, what are we talking about?
The
one who thought he was going to beat you.
Oh.
He was like, we had similar builds. The kid who at URI, down at URI.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the reason I just ask is, like, can you believe that this person was so upset that, Matt, you blew him out of the water?
Well,
He was older than us.
I think
so
it was more, yeah.
He was more of an alumni than we were. And I think this is kind of what he lived on at this point in his life. Sad to say, but
also,
you know those people.
But that's what I mean. Like, he was obviously...
And also the thing is, like, too, like, I'm not usually... Like I like to shotgun beers. It's one of my. I do like to shotgun beers, but I don't usually like seek out like, hey, like I'm gonna shotgun a beer faster than you. I never do.
That's
that.
what I mean.
I like to shotgun beers, but I never just seek out people like who wants to shotgun against me. But when people come to do it, I accept and I like, and so it was But anyway, so they became friends though. So we're sitting there and I'm recording the video of Pinto Ron. And is before the ketchup even comes out on the video, where I'm replaying it back at the hotel after hungover as shit because I just got back from the game and like already the hangover setting in
during the same day.
During the same day, and I'm here, and all of a sudden you hear ketchup as loud as I can, and Mitch from the bathroom's like, "Oh, that was me!" Like, and you could hear him, and you could tell it was him. And just like as soon as the video, you hear ketchup, and so I started looking up other videos, and all you can hear is Mitch when the thing starts. Hey, ketchup.
That's awesome.
So it was. I highly recommend going to a Bills game. Highly recommend it.
It looked like a ton of fun. Sorry, for the tough game to be a Bucs fan there.
And it was the people inside were not kind.
No.
I'll tell you what. The guy in front of me turned around because I was cheering for the Bucs because they started pretty hot and they got hot late in the game too.
Kept it even.
Yeah. So whenever they would score, something good would happen to the Bucs. The guy turned around and he goes, "Listen," he goes, "I'm nice now. I'm gonna get pretty vulgar and mean later in the game." And I was like, I can deal with that. I was like, as long as you're not gonna physically attack me, I can deal with that.
And it was nice of him to give you he didn't just turn around.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. The guy in front of me though, he was like played it off like he was a nice old man the whole entire time. He was like, he's like, "Oh, it's too bad. Like the Bills are sucked. The Bucs are doing pretty good." At the end of the game, he goes, "Give me a hug. I feel bad for you." I was like, "All right,
old man, take it easy."
So that's it. But speaking of football, we have some exciting news about the biggest football game of the year.
You heard it here first.
Specifically, the biggest show of the year.
Yeah, I don't think it's been broken yet on the internet.
No, this is the first time.
So this is an Average Nobody's exclusive.
Yes.
Justin Timberlake is going to be doing the halftime show at the Super Bowl this year.
Yes.
You'd think,
Yeah.
okay? You'd think, I understand what kind of society we live in now.
Yeah.
You'd think, hey, maybe this is something that's going to unite us. This is something, who doesn't love Justin Timberlake?
I don't think there's a soul on the air.
Right, whether it's the music, the acting, he seems like a good dad, he's a good husband to Jessica Biel. You'd think this would be the thing that everyone on the internet could be like, hey, good for you, Justin Timberlake. You're a talented guy, you're a good guy. I'm happy you have this opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
You thought wrong.
I can't believe this.
Because there's a whole campaign now.
To get him off?
No.
Why?
No.
Oh.
Because Janet Jackson isn't also performing with him. There's a whole Justice for Janet campaign.
What?
Because supposedly,
Okay.
supposedly when they performed whenever it was, like 10, 12 years ago, when he exposed her breast.
Yes.
Supposedly they were both banned by the NFL from performing at the Super Bowl.
See, I was in the impression it was MTV that was banned.
That's
But
right.
was it them? Was it them as well?
How do you ban a person?
Yeah, I don't know.
So anyway, now he's back, and people are mad that she's not also back.
Okay. Well, let's put this right now. What has Janet Jackson done since that last Super Bowl?
Not much. But she's actually on a world tour this year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, so I'm wrong. I'm hands up. I'm wrong.
Because I thought
she wasn't doing
when
anything.
I was doing some research earlier today, I'm like, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say Janet Jackson isn't doing anything. She's not coming out with any music. And then I look up and her world tour is going all over the
What
world.
does that really mean, a world tour? They all can do world tours.
Yeah, but if she's touring, that means she's still performing. It's different from wanting to be a hermit. You know what I mean?
Can I just say one thing? Let me tell you, the Conor
Say
McGregor fight, they called it a world tour. They went all to London,
Like for-
Australia, and
Like his training?
they did a world tour press conference.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, guys.
But I mean,
you
she's
know,
still relevant.
But he's
I'll put it
relevant.
that way.
He is,
Yeah.
but like, why? Why do people care so much?
But I agree.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't think people should be getting so up in arms about this. Why can't we just be happy for the person who has it? Why do we have to talk about the person who doesn't? First off, that's the only time I can remember Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson being in the same arena together.
Yeah.
It's not like they're this inseparable duo.
Yeah, I know.
They went on world tours.
Yeah.
They came out with albums together.
Yeah.
No, they did that show together. Yes, her nipple was exposed. Okay.
And it was on the internet within
It was
10
on-
It wasn't even
seconds.
really her
It wasn't
nipple.
even- I couldn't even tell.
Her breast was
Her
exposed.
breast was exposed. But the people are making it seem like Justin and Janet together forever. Like, how could you, how could you have Justin Timberlake on without Janet Jackson? What do you mean? Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, no.
But it's funny because all her fans are calling him Timber Snake. Like he's
Like it's his decision.
Yeah. I mean, Rob, what are your thoughts on this? And it's,
Timber
by the
Snake
way-
is a good.
It is.
If he was actually a bad person, that would be perfect.
Yeah, he's a timber snake in the grass. And then the hashtag being used is hashtag justice for Janet. Justice for what?
God.
Justice for what? She's not in jail.
Yeah, no.
She-
She's probably making hundreds of $millions on her world tour.
Oh, of course.
World tours make you a lot of money. That's how any music artist makes
Right.
money nowadays. It's residuals and touring.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's be real here. Let's stay woke. Janet Jackson is 100% going to be in the Super Bowl halftime performance, right?
No.
And not because of this thing, but it's already planned. It's got to be a secret, right?
There's too much time between now and then for it not to happen.
Right. It's gotta.
I think.
Why are we all into the conspiracy theories?
It's not a conspiracy. The NFL is starting to become self-aware. They're allowing celebrations in the end zone now again, right? The NFL
agree
is
with that a little bit.
absolutely. They're
little
trying.
bit.
They're trying to draw people. Janet Jackson will absolutely be in the halftime performance.
He'll be performing.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna hear the words, "Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Janet Jackson." They're gonna do a
and
thing
it's gonna be
together.
You're right.
It's gonna be the most
He's gonna
talked
rip off her
about.
underpants.
It's gonna be the most talked about musical performance of the year.
Yeah. They're smart.
Can I tell you, this is the analogy I will make is very relevant. Today, I think Kellogg's apparently had a graphic. They had a graphic on the back of one of their boxes, and one of the things were brown, and he was the janitor. And let me tell you, that was no like by accident. They did it for publicity. So I think you guys
Like
are
as
all
a
right.
controversy.
Yeah, no publicity is bad publicity, right? They know what they're doing. You're totally right.
So if you're talking Kellogg, whether it's a negative or positive,
I still told you guys, and now 100 whoever's listening to this just heard Kellogg's.
You're right. I think that the NFL has changed. The NFL has changed the way they're doing business as far as like connecting with their audience, and this is going to be huge for them to have Janet Jackson show up at the halftime. It's going to be the most talked about. It's going to trend worldwide.
Yeah.
And that's going to get all eyeballs on the NFL.
But let me ask you guys this. I think what's really crazy is the other day, Justin Timberlake was being interviewed by Al Michaels or somebody, and he was
on Sunday Night Football to promote.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
and he asked the same question 3 times. Why do you think the NFL banned you? Why do you think they asked you to come back? I mean, Jesus Christ, I couldn't believe they're making a story out of that. This whole thing, you're right. I think now I'm going to shut the hell up because they're totally right. This is all set up.
They're talking about the ban, obviously.
But they killed it. He asked them over and over again. Like I wouldn't even know how to answer.
Well,
that question.
that's the angle to bring Justin Timberlake back. There's so many other people you can get to do the halftime show.
And it kind of works both ways too, because you have this guy who's uber popular. He's you're gonna announce Justin Timberlake. He has a massive following.
Yeah.
Both casual and both very maybe sadistic isn't the right word, but very, there's a lot of people that are very into him.
Yeah.
So now you have that aspect of it. And on top of that, you have the aspect of he was banned, quote unquote. So now you have that talking point.
Yeah.
So now you got the casual people in there.
Yeah.
And now apparently you're bringing in the Justice for Janet group, who I really hope you're right. I really hope she does join him at some point because
I will.
There's nothing that
I'll be shocked.
There's nothing that I like more than seeing idiot people on the internet have to put their foot in their mouth.
Oh, I love it.
And maybe Janet Jackson, like maybe Justin Timberlake's wearing a breakaway suit. Maybe Janet Jackson rips his suit off.
Let me tell you something. Why are you not in charge? Why is Matt not in charge of the Super Bowl halftime?
Yeah. And it would be a nice little tit for tat. No pun intended. Wow, I'm
Hey,
sorry.
can someone tweet this?
All right, he's gonna retire. He's
Matt
done.
from Rhode Island at Matt at Rhode Island. Can we get this tweeted?
Oh my god.
You gotta see him right now. He's using his arms, everything. Like he's in it.
But yeah, this is the narrative the NFL wants.
Yeah.
And just like with your Kellogg's example, the Justice for Janet, they wanted this. This is the best case scenario for the NFL.
Everybody's talking about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Good, bad, the ugly.
Yeah. So Rob,
Yes.
on our podcast, we created this fun little segment. It's called People versus the Internet. Okay? So let's get right into it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Ryan, I'm going to let you handle this because I actually don't know much about it besides the top level.
So Jolly Ranchers,
Yeah.
candy brand, hard candy, delicious.
Love them. Love Jolly
Nutritious.
Ranchers.
Maybe not nutritious. They are delicious.
Nutritious.
So they've come out with a new branding slogan.
Okay.
So the new slogan is keep on sucking. And they're doubling down. I mean, when it first came out, people were, is this Jolly Ranchers, is this really your new slogan? This
Is there a
so
commercial?
stupid.
I'm going to bring up the commercial.
I don't know if there's a new commercial, but WWE, the way I found it is because Jolly Ranchers is advertises on Raw. Yep. So the announcers have to use their slogan. So Michael Cole...
No way!
Yeah. So Michael Cole is one of the announcers, and like during one of the downtimes, they'll come in, and Michael Cole will be like, and Raw is brought to you by Jolly Ranchers. Keep on sucking. And I'm like,
I remember. Yeah. I heard that.
so everyone flocks to the Jolly Ranchers Twitter, which oddly enough is at Jolly_Ranchers. Who's at Jolly Ranchers?
Someone's just
I couldn't find it.
Really? It's
I couldn't find it. But anyway, so everyone flocks.
Sucking.
You know what?
on sucking.
Is
know
that
what
the
it
actual?
Yeah.
That's
the actual thing.
It reminds me of the Old Spice. Like, the Old Spice, the commercials, they're a parody of themselves.
Yes, yeah.
It reminds me of that. But people are going after them like, this is so stupid. Like, no matter what way you're approaching it,
It's bad.
yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I want Jolly
backing
Ranchers now.
down. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's a bad slogan.
It's a bad slogan, but they're not. A lot of people, when the internet reacts in a certain way, are like, you know what, guys, we were wrong. They're not backing down. It's in their profile.
You have to commend them for it, though.
Yes.
Because they probably were like, they probably had a meeting and they were like, keep on sucking. That's going to be it. Put it out there. We're advertising with WWE. Put it out there. And then all of a sudden they hear it on WWE or wherever they put it first, and then they're like, oh, what have we done?
We didn't
And they're
expect
like,
to
no,
send like that.
We can't take it down because no company looks weaker than when you go back on something or take something down.
No, I'm just, I'm
do you
shaking my head at these guys just because, like, we just got done talking about, Janet Jackson being inside, the Kellogg thing. Like, don't you guys just think that this was all the same thing? Like, they knew what they were getting into.
I think it to a certain effect too.
Come on. But I will tell you one thing. No, I want to hear this because honestly, the thing I'm saying.
But there's a whole subset of people that when you say sucking, like it means you're bad at something.
Right, you suck.
So it's like keep on sucking. It's like, oh, Jolly Ranchers keep on sucking.
Like, I understand what they mean. That's how you eat a Jolly Rancher.
Oh wow,
Yes,
I am so terrible. I was thinking something.
Oh no, well no.
Okay.
There's
So
also,
then there's exactly.
Yeah.
Then there's the keep on.
Keep on sucking. You guys are nice. You shouldn't think someone sucks, right?
Well, but some people do.
So some people do though.
Right.
I have to. I don't know.
I also have another question with it, and it brings me back to me and Holly were watching Shark Tank yesterday.
Okay.
I know you're a big fan.
I don't like Shark Tank at all. But,
What?
Well,
You like Mark Cuban?
yeah, he funded one of my startups. Yeah.
No big deal.
A-Rod's on there now. I love Shark Tank now. A-Rod's
Well,
on there.
I do like Shark Tank, but I thought you liked it, so I'm sorry, that was a bad setup. But we were watching the. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you liked it.
You know, I like it for the entertainment value,
Right,
but
that's why I
doing
like it.
all the pitching that I've done and, working with these big investment firms, it's not like that at all, that's what kind of gets me. I think sometimes they
guess
set
so.
people up for failure, and they really do just do it for a show.
Yeah.
But I do like it for entertainment value. Ryan's totally right. I probably told him that before, but
I think I maybe
I don't like
took
his
your,
shirt right now.
I think maybe I liked. I took your liking of Mark Cuban's for Shark Tank. But anyway, we were watching it, and this is the first time I can remember because I usually watch Netflix shows on DVR.
Yeah.
I'm watching a TV show live. A commercial comes on, and it was a toilet paper commercial.
Yeah.
And the toilet paper brand's doing this whole big thing. God knows how much money it's spent on advertising. And Holly and I turned to each other like, why is this company spending money on advertising? Are there people who are brand loyal to toilet paper based on their commercials? And it brings me back to the Jolly Rancher. Is advertising necessary for companies that are? I think back in the day it was, which is why they're like I think of hard candy, tasty hard candy. Jolly Rancher is top 3 to 5 in my mind. And that's because of the advertising they did 10, 15 years ago.
Sure.
But is it still necessary now? Is it necessary for them to come up with the branding? I don't know. I mean, I'm not in it.
So
that's more of a question for
hold on.
Rob.
So I'm going to add one thing, and then I'm going to turn to you, Rob. So I have the same question with Coca-Cola. Besides just staying relevant to stay relevant in American culture, why does Coca-Cola, Rob, need to spend probably billions a year on advertising?
It's so when they do advertising.
Who doesn't know about Coca-Cola? It's on every fountain. It's, you know what I mean? Like,
There's also there's not gonna be like an up and comer soda that's gonna.
it's like, this is the next Coke.
Oh God, they're taking over. I just don't see it like that. But
There's a couple of reasons. A, you have to spend your money. You can't keep it all, right? Or you got to get more employees, and no one wants to do that. You get to write off advertising.
Right.
Another reason, too, is you know how when they say, oh, Coca-Cola's sponsoring this, you got to keep that facade going. You got to keep that,
like the
authority
brand,
in
like
there.
the official soda of the New England Patriots.
And
Coca-Cola.
also, you guys be so surprised, when someone comes over for Sunday dinner, or you have company coming over, and you go and you don't buy soda all the time. Oddly enough, those Coca-Cola commercials will make you think, they probably do like Coca-Cola brand compared to Pepsi. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You're right.
But also, there's a certain feel to it. It's like Coca-Cola. It's a
There you go.
classic thing. It's like it's a very American. It's
Remember, they still have other products they gotta launch.
I got a good.
yeah, because they have a lot of products. But see, my point is toilet paper.
Yeah, no, toilet paper's crazy. See, the thing with toilet paper is
They don't sponsor anything. They don't.
And every toilet paper is gonna say they're soft. You have to
Right.
actually feel toilet paper. I'm not going. I'm like, you know what? I'm switching to Charmin.
I have had bad toilet paper though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's like
God, you
sandpaper.
ever meet someone who only does single ply?
Oh, fuck that. It was single ply.
Might as well
What's
just
the point? I use
use
the
my
whole
hand.
roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just take the whole roll.
this was
Don't even unravel it.
Oh wow!
I got a good for Jolly Ranchers for their next one. They should be sponsored by Brazzers. Jolly Rancher, the official hard candy of Brazzers. Keep on sucking.
And then you have one of the porn stars show up,
right,
right? And she just puts one in her mouth. Keep on sucking.
exactly, perfect.
Now
There you go.
that's
Between this and the Super Bowl halftime show,
we're on
I
fire.
think we're on something.
And obviously the internet's probably having a field day with keep on sucking. This is why the internet always wins. The internet is always victorious.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
And they probably actually don't get nothing, but because Jolly Ranchers are still delicious. But in this case, keep on sucking is an odd choice for our slogan.
I'm interested. We follow them now on Average Nobody, so I'm keeping tabs on them. I want to see how they're doing.
Best brand on Twitter. Do either you guys have any like favorite like big company brands that you follow, like just because they're entertaining?
Wendy's.
Wendy's is great. Wendy's is a great one.
Wendy's is really good.
They gave that kid nuggets for a year or something, right?
Yeah, they're just funny.
They're funny. DiGiorno Pizza, I think, does it better than anybody else.
really.
Follow DiGiorno Pizza on Twitter.
Yeah.
They are awesome. They're so
And they
good.
actually
Do you
live.
buy DiGiorno
and they
pizza?
and they live. Yeah,
I like
I do buy
DiGiorno.
DiGiorno pizza.
If I do get frozen pizza, it is DiGiorno.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
DiGiorno, like if I was getting a frozen pizza, DiGiorno's the name. Like that's
Yeah,
that's what
it's
I'm gonna
good.
get.
No,
Yeah, no, yeah,
I
no,
mean, what
absolutely,
what made you go on DiGiorno's Twitter?
They interject themselves into so many different things on Twitter. I didn't seek them out. They just happen to come into something like they retweet and quote tweet Raw all the time.
Yeah, they live
on
tweet Raw
WWE.
sometimes.
That's just like that's awesome.
So
Yeah,
like
that's
as a wrestling
awesome.
fan, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is really, and whoever
Yeah.
runs it is actually very witty. So
Yes.
so
Yeah.
it's
Right.
not
Yeah.
only are they tweeting about it, it's funny. And I'm like, I'll give them a follow. And it's funny watching them respond to people because people will be like, oh, your pizza sucks. Like, I bought it and it was terrible.
fucking hate those
and they're just like so
assholes.
nice. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry, sir, that you spent the $4 on our pizza
Wow.
and didn't really like it. Oh, it's awesome.
I do social media for Save the Bay.
Yeah,
Obviously, you know
yeah.
this. All I get is people like that, and like I get no joy because I post these things. They're supposed to be like great for the environment, all this stuff, and then like I just get people like complaining about their taxes, which we have nothing to do with. We're a non-governmental.
I paid too much in taxes.
Oh, there's this one guy. That I'm not going to say his name. I would say I'm not going to say his name.
Does it
But
begin with a B? Okay.
He comments on every single one of our public programs. So SEAL tours, Lighthouse tours, any of those things. He comments, "I'd love to go on one of these, but I can't afford it because your taxes are too high." We do not tax you. Sir.
Do you think it's an Narragansett Bay
We do not
Commission?
tax you, sir. Yeah, absolutely. So. Anyway, Rob, we also do a segment on here. We talk about what we've been watching, TV, movies, whatever. So we're gonna chat. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is Mindhunter. Are you familiar, Rob?
I'm not.
So just sit. We're not gonna give any spoilers, but we're gonna chat quick. You finished it, Ryan?
Oh, yeah. I finished in 2 days.
So how do you feel about Jonathan Groff?
Me likey, Jonathan Groff.
So I'm sitting right here next to some of my DVDs here.
He was. So let me ask
I
your
don't
opinion.
even know if he's on this.
His character in Mindhunter, did you view him as someone who's kind of like on the spectrum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, as far as like autism.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Just the way
Yeah.
he reacted to things.
Yes.
I loved his relationship with Bill. The two. Because for such a heavy plot.
Yeah.
I mean, they're for those who don't know, it's based in the 1970s, and the main characters work for the FBI, and they're studying serial killers because they want to.
And this is before Rob. This is before they gave him the serial
The
killer
Netflix one.
designation. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
the big
before they
Netflix
called them
one.
at that time. They called them sequence killers.
Sequence killers, yeah. So, and the two cops, they have such a heavy plot and a really tough thing to smile about, when you're watching this stuff, because they deal with rape, murder of kids, serial killings and stuff. But they have such a good back and forth. They keep it light enough between them two that it doesn't bog you down.
Yeah.
Because you watching these type of shows sometimes, like I used to watch SVU all the time, and after a while, I'm like, I am really bummed out. Like this is too heavy. But they have a really good back and forth, and I thought it was a great mix of their rapport and just the amazing acting, the great writing.
Yeah.
David Fincher directs a couple episodes. Who's the goddamn man? He did most recently Gone Girl, which he's used to that genre.
Yeah.
He's used to that thriller, that murdery type stuff. But I loved it.
So anyways, I'm gonna go back to David Fincher in a second, but one of the great things about their relationship, Holden and Bill, I like that Bill, even though he's like the grizzled veteran, doesn't flex on Holden all the time. Like he's not like, listen, just do what I'm saying. Like, shut up. Like you're going too into this. Like he's not like the guy that's like knocking on retirement's door and being like, I don't care about my job anymore. He legitimately like he likes the ideas that Holden has. He brings them up to the sergeant or lieutenant, whatever, in the FBI, and was like, we should do this. Like I stand by what he's doing. Of course, things start. I'm not going to spoil things. Things start going awry and whatever, just like anything does. But I really liked their relationship. I thought it was awesome. David Fincher's episodes that he directed, they're very. You can tell that he directed them because he has a very distinct style. That if you watch his other movies, like Gone Girl, he does this thing that's. I watched this nerd writer on YouTube. Look him up. You guys should check him out. He's a really good YouTube channel. He did a whole video on David Fincher's directing style and camera work. When you watch a David Fincher movie, if I'm sitting here with this mug, right, and I go to pick up this mug and my head goes to meet the mug and I go to take a sip, he moves the camera at the same speed that the people in the shot are moving. And it's something that you don't realize is happening unless you're told. And it's something that adds so much to the scene. So rather than the camera be stationary or moving at a different speed, you move the exact same speed as the people. So you feel more like in it. So I thought that was really cool, and you could definitely tell the episodes that he did, and I thought it was they shot it. So the acting was awesome across the board. Jonathan Groff, like I said, it's a shame he's not singing and dancing because he has a set of pipes on him like you wouldn't believe.
Really? I've never seen Glee.
So you just look up, when you get a chance, look up Jesse St. James Glee performances. He does a cover of a couple Queen songs, and he just like absolutely destroys it.
It's right on my alley.
And he sings and dances like he's the most talented person on the show, if you ask me. Him and God, what is her name? Leah Michelle.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned it because I really like the Bill character because he almost plays a unique role. Mm-hmm. Because technically he's a veteran. He's been in the FBI for X amount of years, but he doesn't play that bitter guy. He doesn't play that guy who's like, this is my last case before I retire. He plays a guy who's still very invested in his job, but at the same time, he's
not full of himself.
He's not full of himself. He still appreciates Holden's ideas. Mm-hmm. He still appreciates what's the
Wendy?
Yeah, Wendy.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I know you don't watch The Leftovers, but she looks like Carrie Coon, who played Nora in The Leftovers.
I know Carrie Coon, yeah.
And Nora on Twitter, Carrie Coon, the actress, she like tweeted a couple weeks after Mindhunters premiered, and she goes, "I've updated my profile." And in the profile, it's like, not the girl from Mindhunter. Because everyone's like, oh, you're so good in Mindhunter. She's like, it's not me. It's not me. I wish it was me. It's a great part, but it's not me.
Wow, she looks just...
Right? Doesn't she look exactly like her?
It's funny,
Same hair?
I type in Carrie Coon on Google, and the first two articles is like, who is Anna Torv, the actress you thought was Carrie Coon?
She's Australian.
Oh, really?
Which, again, baffles me. How do UK and Australian people not have an accent?
I don't know. I don't know.
But, another standout was Edmund.
Ed, what the hell's his last name? The serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one they interview and the one who it ends on.
So I don't know if you realize this, but all the serial killers they interview in the show are all real serial killers. I did not. Ed Kemper. Yeah.
And it's cool because
it's fiction. It's not.
No, so
it's almost like it's not a biography, but it's like
so they go around and
based on real people.
Yeah, based on real people.
Because this is something the FBI really did in the 70s.
Yeah, I think all the crimes are true too.
You mean behavior analysis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so,
wow.
So it documents
cool.
that. It's really cool.
I love that stuff. Sorry guys.
Rob,
you should check it out.
You won't be able to stop watching it. It's so
I'm
good.
excited. Yeah. My brother was an asshole. I said I want to watch it. He goes, "No, it's just like one of those other Criminal Minds."
No, it's not.
No, it's totally different.
It's so much.
It has a
better.
different feel to it.
Wait.
Yeah, a totally different feel to it.
But yeah, Mindhunter, 11 out of 10. Couldn't recommend it more.
Again,
really
Netflix just killing it.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they can put out so much stuff. It's crazy.
I don't either. I mean,
movies on top of movies and original shows just one after another. And hits too.
Yeah. Like not just putting out shows, putting out legitimate, binge-worthy.
Tomorrow debuts the season 2 of the worldwide cult classic Stranger Things. I mean, that is a cult classic now, and the season 2 debuts tomorrow.
But it doesn't cost too much money to put these things on.
See, it's not about money because how many big time movie directors get a ton of money and they throw it, or even a little bit of money and throw it. The correlation between good content and money, that's not there.
No.
Look at Get Out, Jordan Peele's movie he did earlier this year. Did it for a budget of $50 million or something like that, something absurd for a big budget Hollywood movie, and it's fucking the best, one of the best horror movies of all time, box office wise. Get Out.
Oh, I know.
It came out earlier this year, and then you have movies that like what was the recent movie that's going to lose like $100 million? Geostorm.
Yeah.
Like you throw a ton of money.
Lose
at
$100 million.
Yeah. What are you looking at?
Netflix's total revenue last year was $3.2 billion.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is, like, they just the coordination you have to have between all these people making all these shows, and like to make sure that all the content is quality and it's like Netflix quality. That's huge.
And for TV, I think their biggest thing is they're getting the right people running these shows.
100%.
So you can give a director or a star $5, $10, $15 million, but if you don't have the right showrunner to work to people's egos, to make sure everyone's doing their thing, it's not going to work. And they clearly have that. And when they find someone like Genji Cohen, who did Orange Is the New Black,
right,
they're doubling down on her. She's doing thanks the rest of them.
Glow.
Yeah, and Glow was
I still haven't watched Glow. I'm an idiot.
You'll watch that in a day.
Yeah.
Netflix does one thing great, guys. They have the best algorithm to show the movies that people want to watch.
I can't tell you how that's 100% true. Every time I don't get many push notifications from Netflix on my phone, but every time I do, I either watch it that night or that week. Like, they're like, Matt, something for you, Death Note. We know you like to watch Voltron. Like, here's another anime. Perfect, Netflix. I will absolutely watch that this weekend. Yeah. I'm like, or they'll be like, I don't know how they fucking know, but they'll be like, Matt, Tommy Boy is on Netflix now. Excellent. I will watch Tommy Boy on Netflix. I have it on DVD and Blu-ray. I will also watch it on Netflix.
And I will say, I talk about this with Holly all the time, because we use Netflix, HBO Go, Amazon Prime. There is no more user-friendly setup than Netflix.
Oh, my God.
The way they set things up, compared to, like, Amazon Prime, HBO Go, those are not small companies.
No.
But Netflix has it down.
Yeah.
The categories,
They're
the
a
way
video
it's...
company.
Oh, it's amazing.
And even Hulu is pretty decent, but it's far from Netflix. It's pretty good, but it's far from Netflix.
But Hulu is also owned by most of Hollywood. Netflix isn't.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
but
really
Netflix,
interesting.
And to, like, pick up where you left off on last, like, that's just, like, huge. It's nice. The UI is great. What?
Oh,
What?
No, I thought I interrupted Ryan over here. You know, the UI for Netflix is amazing, and there's a reason their stock price is at 100 or 100 plus, right?
Yeah.
So,
I love Netflix. It's and they put out shows like this. Another thing I'm watching, I'll touch on quick. I watched the first 2 episodes of American Vandal. Have you seen that?
It just got renewed. I haven't watched it. Is it good?
It just got renewed for season 2.
Funny.
It's fucking amazing. I was editing a podcast on Monday or Tuesday when we did the movie podcast, and I just happened to have Netflix on, and I finished watching something, and it went back to the main menu. And you know how on Netflix, which is another fantastic thing, you stop on something you want to watch, and automatically the trailer starts playing. Amazing. It doesn't pull up the whole screen; it just does in the corner. American Vandal was on there, and it was like just started playing. I'm like, what is this? And it's like this docudrama, like it's done like Serial, but video, and it's like this high school gets dick spray painted on all the cars, and it's like a fake it's like a mockumentary on like the behind the scenes and like who did what, and they analyze text messages and like the hey with no period. It's like, oh, like what did he mean by that? It's amazing, but it's like but it just got renewed for season 2, so I'm watching that, and it's so good. I can't things like that, like. They go from things like that. You have Stranger Things. You have all these Stephen King adaptations. Another one just hit Netflix called 1922 that I'm like super excited to watch. So, and I just watched Gerald's Game, which I was talking to you about
Confession
last week.
Tapes.
What's Confession Tapes?
Are you guys?
That's what you're watching.
Are you watching that?
I am watching that. But if you guys haven't seen it,
well, try to do a non-spoiler review.
I know what you are watching now. Well, no, tell us about Confession Tapes.
Confession Tapes is basically, if you all saw Making a Murderer and how basically they coerced them into saying what they wanted, this is all about that. And
shit.
I think season 1 is 13 episodes and just all different cases, and it is just insane. These cops, the tactics they use, it's quite sad. They broke one guy down for 10 hours. And basically, he was like brainwashed.
How do they break down the episodes? They do it by person?
Yeah, by person. Yep. Great show. Great show. And I hope people start realizing that our justice system isn't there. It just isn't there. These cops
You watch Making a Murderer, right?
Yes. Oh,
the tragedy that is Brendan Dassey, the nephew.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It's
mentally challenged. They didn't let the mother come in the room. Sad. You know, those people should be ashamed.
I agree.
Rob, so you are one of the few, I guess, you and your brother, that I know that do CBS Access, which is like Netflix, but for the CBS shows.
Yep.
So you're watching Star Trek Discovery.
The best. Let me tell you, the best.
So how does this differ from other Star Trek? Like, shows. So we chatted a little bit about Star Trek. So I'm watching the Next Generation for the first time. And pretty much the Next Generation, it's like
soft.
It's a sitcom, right? So it's like every episode, it's like something new. Sometimes they dip into like other episodes with, villains and whatnot, but for the most part, it's new. And then you have like Deep Space Nine. It's like they're in the middle of a war.
And they're both on at the same time. They overlap, and then Voyager came on and overlapped.
So where does Discovery fit in like the Star Trek lineup?
It is 15 years after Kirk, or is it 15 years before Kirk? One of those, but it's really early in the timeline.
Okay. You're enjoying it?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, it should be $8 million budget per episode.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
wow, that's a lot.
Everyone looks at Star Trek and they're like, oh, Trekkie, but no, it's not like that. This is a hell of a story that anybody can just cling on to. It's like Star Wars every week.
Hey, no pun intended, Klingon.
Yeah, Klingon, no pun.
Wow, we're firing in all cylinders.
Oh, God. If I had these guys in my everyday life,
That was good, Rob. That was really good.
That was very good.
I mean, Jesus, that was good. I didn't even pick up on that, but... it's a fun show. It moves, Before you know it, an hour is done, and it's just there's so much going on, and there's a story to it. And I think with the old Star Treks, like Next Gen, like you said, it's a sitcom. Where this one, it's like a long movie.
It's a drama, more of a drama.
And it has a good story, good writing that anybody can kind of attach to.
And so they just renewed it for season 2.
They did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Even my father's deaf. And one thing about, now he can lip read, he watches the closed captions, but my dad can tell what a good show is, especially for action movies. And he could basically tell me, with missing a lot of the parts, what it was about.
Yeah.
And he loves it. Last night we watched 3 episodes, for Christ's sake.
Oh, really? How many episodes into the first season is it?
There's going to be 15, and there's 6 that came out already.
Okay,
Every Sunday night at 5:30.
Nice. So it's not on regular CBS. You can only watch it on Access. The first one, okay, right.
And then, but I really think they're going to get the people. I heard they got 3 million signups from it.
Nice. That's awesome. That's
$80 million
That's
season.
one way to boost a streaming service, is to put something like that on there.
Yep. I really hope non-Star Trek fans can kind of get into it. I think they have this weird look on Star Trek, which is sad because honestly, it's a pretty good life.
Yeah.
That they envision for us. I mean, it's basically everything we're doing today.
Yeah, you're right. You want to talk about Curb quick, and then we'll get into TV Club?
Oh, how was that?
Very quick. Oh my God. So
I'm not caught up, but you feel free to like.
So I'm gonna have to go back and watch, because we're on this is season 9 of Curb. Yeah. And there's been 8 seasons, and now 4 episodes into season 9. I think the last week was my favorite episode of the whole series.
Really?
It's called Running with the Bulls. And it was so funny. I was legitimately laughing out loud for 3/4 of the episode.
Really?
It was so funny. And he's just so good at weaving. They have the main plot this year. Have you watched any of this year?
Yeah. Yes.
So the fatwa.
Yes.
So he has the fatwa. He has a hit on him from the Iranian government. And that's weaved within every episode.
Yeah.
And then he has the individual things in the episode. In this episode, there was Richard Lewis, his friend, always takes the best seat at the restaurant. Which leads to him taking the best seat at a memorial ceremony, like for someone who died.
Yeah.
He has the thing with Ted Danson.
Yeah.
He,
dating his wife, his ex-wife. Yeah.
Dating Cheryl.
Yeah.
He's seeing his therapist, who's Bryan Cranston.
Oh my God, yes.
And he doesn't like the chair that he's sitting in. He thinks Bryan Cranston, who's the therapist,
picked a better chair.
So he's mad about that.
Yeah.
It was so funny. There's an exchange with him and JB Smoove, who plays Leon.
Yeah.
Because Larry goes into the bathroom, and I actually run into this because I've been for work, I can wear dark jeans. So I've been buying like the more fit jeans.
Yeah.
That are a little tighter.
Yeah.
And the zipper goes down like an inch. And like I can't get my hand in there to get my, to go to the bathroom at a urinal.
Yeah.
So he's in the episode, he's in there and he's like wrestling with it and he can't get it out. So he's talking with Leon about it, and they have this exchange that is so funny. And Leon's theory is that you have to buy jeans from a country that notoriously has big penises. So he's like, I get my jeans from Jamaica. He's like, they got huge penises down there, so the zipper's huge. He's like, where do you get your jeans? And Larry says something like some country in Europe or whatever. And it's so funny. I was like belly
That's
laughing.
funny,
It was
yeah.
really good.
I have to catch up. I love Curb so
Yeah.
much. I love it so much.
I was a little worried about it.
It hasn't missed a beat.
Yeah, right now.
No. I believe one of the confession tapes is about a guy who gets off of what he was doing because you remember the Curb Your Enthusiasm where he brings the prostitute with him to the baseball game? So he could use the carpool lane to get there?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
So apparently in there they tried in the shooting, like filming it, there was a Hispanic guy who they were trying to charge for murder, but because they were shooting the tape,
Yeah.
they saw him on the tape and he got off murder.
Really?
True story.
Oh, jeez.
I know there was something like that. Yeah, like the guy was at a baseball game.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's funny. But I can't. I'm excited to watch
Definitely catch
something
up.
like that.
It has not missed a beat.
Yeah. It's awesome. All right. So Rob, we're gonna talk about TV Club. So you're welcome to chime in if you have any questions. But these are two shows that we're watching now too, because we're
Two.
gonna add The Walking Dead. We're also talking about
So
the
for
Deuce.
this week and next week.
I want to hear about it.
We'll do a quick. I mean, we'll do relatively quick on Walking Dead. I feel, and then we'll dive deep into the Deuce
Yeah.
because it's fucking heating up.
Yeah.
So Mercy, Walking Dead, season 8, episode 1. I can't believe it's season 8 of The Walking Dead.
I know.
I think they really listened to everybody and was like, let's start picking things up here. Let's not put the trash people with the weird talking in it. Let's just
Up.
yeah. So this one was directed by Greg Nicotero, and it was nice because it was dedicated to one other person that I didn't recognize, but it was dedicated to George Romero, who
Yes.
is his mentor.
And I think the other one it was dedicated to, there was a stunt guy who died on the set this year.
oh, really? That's too
I
bad.
think that was
so
him.
that was the other
Yeah.
one. That's unfortunate. So yeah, my first thing I'd like to say is Maggie actually pregnant?
I don't think so.
She's not, right?
I don't think.
She hasn't been showing for 3 seasons. She hasn't shown.
Right.
Is it been 24 hours since the 2 seasons ago?
Between
No.
the stress, between all the and I know we're not dealing with, we're dealing with a fictional universe, and I understand that.
Yes.
But I would be very surprised if it turns out that she is pregnant, does have the baby, and I think it's because she's going to be such a central figure, a leader.
Yeah.
I mean, it's her and Rick. You have Ezekiel too, like 1B leader, but it's her and Rick for the most part.
Yeah.
So I would say no.
There's just 2 thoughts to her future here on The Walking Dead with how they're playing her pregnancy. One is that she's going to die, and it's going to be sad because she will have been with child. But it's really tough to kill a pregnant person when they're really showing. Like, that's really bad. You know what I mean? Like, that never
It's one
happens
thing to
on
be
TV.
like, oh, she was pregnant after the fact. It's
Yeah.
another thing to be like, she's 8 months in.
Look at her.
Oh,
like,
we're going to
she
kill
was-
you now.
Yeah. The other thing I'm thinking of is now with all these Rick flash forwards, which now we're seeing, like, because in this episode, you see and we're calling it Old Man Rick, but even though he's not really that old, but he's very crippled.
Yeah.
He's talking to Judith, who is like, I don't know, 7 years old?
I'd say
6?
a little younger, yeah.
Really?
Maybe
I'm
like
terrible
5,
with fucking kids' age.
4 or 5.
That's something you're supposed to be good with?
So the other thing I'm thinking of is for her
Not a
pregnancy is that maybe it flashes forward to, like, maybe the show's over and she has her kid. Like, that's what they're doing. They're just holding out until the show can end, but it doesn't show, like, it doesn't seem like it's anywhere, and the end is anywhere in sight. You know what I mean? So I
And
don't
it's
know.
weird because in the comics, there really is there's no big war with Negan. It flashes forward in the comics.
Okay.
And Negan's their prisoner.
Oh, okay.
So Rick, one novel ends, the other one starts up, and the war happened, and Rick is like building this community, and like everything's going well. The people who surrendered from Negan's army are working with them. Everything's going good, and Negan's a prisoner.
Okay.
And only a few people know that Negan's a prisoner.
Oh, okay.
But they skipped through the whole war. And the show is almost taking the opposite approach. They're really dragging out this war.
Yeah.
But this episode, I think, accelerated it,
Yeah.
which is what it needed to do. And it's tough because I read the comics, and Negan is rightfully so hyped up. And they didn't miss the point. He's just not someone that I think they can portray accurately on basic television.
Okay.
If this is an HBO show, if this was Netflix, they'd have a better shot at it.
Yeah.
He needs to speak a certain way for me. And I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
I don't like that he's always like leaning back a little bit. He's too casual.
Negan's
Negan is very focused.
Yeah.
He's not this like
Yeah, like
pissing
Matthew
our pants
McConaughey.
yet. Yeah,
Negan.
no.
Yeah.
He has like he has a joking way about him.
Yeah.
But he will mess you up.
Yeah.
And I don't get that feeling from Jeffrey Dean Morgan's portrayal of him.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with being on basic cable.
Yeah, and I think his dialogue is a little too bouncy. I don't like the exactly bouncy. Yeah, it's just like it's like a nursery rhyme.
Pissing our pants yet? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Come on, like talk
And also,
like a
like,
human.
the arm that he's not holding, the hell's his bad? Lucille. The thing that he's not holding Lucille in his arm is like it's just so stiff and like by his
the jacket's
side.
too long.
Yeah, and like it just looks like it's like does he have like a wooden stick in there? Like it's not bending ever. It's just like stiff by his side. Yeah, I don't know. I like that they're kind of like. I like the wars that the Walking Dead people get into. I like this. I like how they're using the walkers to their advantage. Sending them in all different ways and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. I thought I thought the whole like roll up to their camp with these modified cars with the shields and everything. It just didn't really work. It was like weird. It's like, oh, and here are all the officers like standing on the balcony.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too, they just started firing up at the building. Like, do they really think they were killing anybody or hurting anybody?
And what pisses me off too is I know we're supposed to suspend our disbelief in this show.
Yeah.
But there's been too many times when Negan's just walking out like the cock of the walk.
Yeah, like he
shoot
usually
him,
be
shoot him in
taking
the
out-
goddamn
yeah,
head.
yeah.
I mean, come on, like you can't keep doing this.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know. I mean,
So I have a few notes here. So one thing, Tara, did she have a Twizzler in her mouth or was it like a straw?
I think it was a Twizzler.
Does she not eat her Twizzlers or did she just fucking like stick it in her mouth? Because that was pissing me off.
I don't
was
like her.
You got to eat your Twizzler. Like I'm a big Twizzler guy.
Oh, God.
Hands up, big Twizzler guy.
But you eat them.
You gotta eat your Twizzler.
You know what's a bad Twizzler? Things that you keep soaking in your mouth.
Don't just eat the Twizzler, please. Eat it.
I don't.
So I'm glad you agree it was a Twizzler because
Yeah.
it had a little hang to it, like a normal Twizzler. But you just had to stick it in her mouth. Like who does that? Eat it.
Right.
Eat it.
It's not a
Take a
cigar.
bite out of
Yeah.
it. Something. I thought there was two laugh out loud moments for me. When Simon pushed Gregory down the stairs, it was like so obvious that like he's not actually pushing the Gregory was like oh, and he just like you can tell he didn't fall, and like Simon is just like this like ruthless guy, like he would have like why didn't he like throw him over the ledge or something better. Just pushed him off camera.
Is there a non-funny way to push someone down the stairs though? Like it always maybe it's like the warped thing in me.
I know what you're
but
saying.
I always find it funny when someone gets pushed down the stairs.
I don't mind that. Like if I saw him roll down the stairs, that'd be one thing. But they literally just had the camera locked off, and Simon just pushed him off screen. Like, and like they didn't show him down the stairs.
No, at least get a stuntman to do the tumble or something.
The other thing was when Rick was like seeing red, and he was like just trying to kill Negan with all his might, and then Father Gabriel comes over, taps on the shoulder, and was like, this is not about you. Like we have things to do. Like we have a next plan, which I thought was great because that means that they're in control. I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, but then Rick takes out the Polaroid camera and snaps a picture, and I put here in the notes like Rick takes a picture for his Instagram. Like he takes a Polaroid picture of Negan. Obviously, they use it for something.
Negan's losing.
Yeah. Hashtag fuck Negan.
Yeah.
So I thought I just thought that was funny. But the pushing down the stairs was just laugh out loud funny.
It was.
Yeah.
And the way it was
Onesie,
filmed
too.
was a
so-
little over the top.
Yeah. It's a little.
You also have Daryl and Dwight, who are bow and arrow pen pals, apparently. Dwight just shooting a bow and arrow with a perfect map of where all the leaders of Negan's army are, so they can blow them up.
Yeah. Shoots the tire on Dwight's bike first. Daryl shoots it. And then Daryl just casually puts the note back on, writes something on it, aims between the fence, shoots it, and Daryl's standing here and then just shoots into the... How does Daryl trust him? Like, even if
What if someone intercepts that?
Yeah, even if he trusts him as a person, I wouldn't trust someone shooting a crossbow towards me.
No.
No way. No way. He was way too close to that.
He was.
Yeah. You gotta be way far away from him.
Also,
shoot it over there.
they're not best friends.
Yeah, no. No.
You know,
yeah, even if I perfectly trusted him,
right?
I wouldn't be having anybody shooting a fucking boat. Never mind if he's like, he could still be with Negan. So that was odd. Father Gabriel, he's a little too good for his own good.
So you know what Holly's theory is?
What?
Father Gabriel's on Negan's side.
You think so?
So at the end of the episode,
are you shitting your pants? Yeah.
And Father Gabriel saves Rick, saves Gregory too, right? And then Gregory ends up leaving.
Yeah,
takes the car
in Gabriel's car,
and they end up in the trailer together.
Yes.
So because when Negan the first line he said when he came in and they were all in the circle in the camp or the woods, he said like, "Are we pissing our pants yet? Hope you brought your pee pants."
Yeah.
Which is again, come on, that's not how you gotta say. You gotta be a little more intimidating than that.
Yeah.
But so he comes in and he says that we shitting our pants yet. And Holly thinks that's almost like a code for Father Gabriel. Like,
oh, really?
Like he has Father Gabriel wrapped around his finger. They've known each other. He's turned him, and Negan's saying that as almost like that's what Negan said the first time he had Father Gabriel, where he could have killed him, but instead he kept him alive.
Okay.
I don't know if I buy it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, the thing is too, like, I thought that immediately when Father Gabriel shut himself in the trailer, I knew Negan was in there.
Yeah.
I knew it. And then when he said that, I thought Gabriel was just going to get a bat over the head, and that was going to be the end of it, right? And then he was going to, like, ship his Gabriel's body back to Alexandria. Another thing, did Father Gabriel run out of bullets?
That's a good question.
It's odd that he had an M16 or a very heavy machine gun on him in that little trailer and just didn't kill Negan right there.
That's another. So it's either he's with him or this goes back to, guys, got to kill him when you got the chance.
Yeah, I would really be upset with Game. Well, I don't know. I was just supposed to say Game of Thrones. I would be very upset if like there's a reason that he didn't. If there wasn't a reason that he didn't just turn and shoot him. Like then he's
or with try even if you're out of bullets.
That's why like next
you're
episode,
with the psychopath who killed two of your friends.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
But the only thing I'm thinking is because I'm actually reading now one of the side novels called Descent. And it basically is after the governor is defeated, the people who were under his wing, how they stayed alive.
Yeah,
and it's really cool. And Lily Call
was Father Gabriel from when the governor was?
No.
When did they?
Father Gabriel was with the people who ate the people. The people who ate. Remember they ate Bob.
Right.
When they were in his chapel or his church.
Yes.
But there's a guy called Reverend Jeremiah, and he's a pastor that Lily Call comes across, and they join them. And it's just interesting the way that Robert Kirkman and now Scott Gimple, who's the showrunner, how they treat and how they write people of faith.
Okay.
Where the man in charge has always been Rick. Mm-hmm. He's a sheriff. He knows clearly right and wrong. There's really no faith involved in it.
Yeah.
It's what he thinks right and wrong. But the way they write this Reverend Jeremiah character is on the surface he's this savior and he's all these things, but he really has these really pretty dark secrets about him. And only certain people see that.
Okay.
And I think with Father Gabriel it's very similar how they write him. He's also a priest, he's a man of faith. And he doesn't have the basic right and wrong of a sheriff.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they made Father Gabriel a turncoat because he's always been someone you can't figure out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting turn. That's what Holly thinks. She wanted me to mention it.
Yeah, I like that theory. I like that theory.
So I don't get beat when I go home.
I like that. Do you have anything else you want to, anything from this episode? I think that's everything.
I mean, it was really just one big storyline.
Yeah. I just watched it yesterday, so I'm excited now because it's like the next episode's only in a few days. So
I know I watched it on Sunday. It's too long.
A week is a long time, especially when you have Netflix when you're watching, binging.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow when I put on Stranger Things, I don't plan on turning my TV off until it's over.
Right. That's what I'm gonna do too.
I'll be up pretty late. All right, let's talk about The Deuce, episode 1.7, Reservoir, which is funny.
And Ralph Macchio got the line.
Yeah, which is cool. Do you wanna?
Yeah. So, Au Reservoir, Obviously, my perfect French accent. Directed by James Franco. Pulled triple duty in this episode. He played Frankie and Vincent like he does every episode. Also directed this episode. 5 writers were credited, including George Pelicanos and David Simon, who are the creators of the show. First thing, really, for me that stood out, this was a fantastic, and this is one of the things I loved about The Wire, fantastic just dialogue episode. Things that could be throwaway lines, they just, I don't know. They make me chuckle. They make me laugh. It was just really good. One of them was another day, another bunch of dicks. Like that was the line that Darlene said.
Yep.
When the prostitutes are starting their day.
Yeah.
And she's walking in, and it's just so like matter of fact. It'd be like me and you working together, and like, hey, Mac, good morning, and like they're both walking in. She's like, another day, another bunch of dicks.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. Kind of a big episode for Frankie.
Yeah, a huge episode for Frankie. Yeah.
A lot going on with him.
He's heading up the operation for building the
Masturbatorium,
like heading up the thing, like, making sure everything's like on the up and up. I was kind of disappointed that Big Mike wasn't in it more.
I know.
That's weird because he was kind of like instrumental in creating that as well. So
right.
I don't know.
Maybe just took a
I don't know.
day off, an episode off.
So another great dialogue thing. One of the prostitutes at what's the name of the whorehouse that they have, the French, they're like where
Bobby runs it?
Yeah, Bobby
the massage
runs it.
parlor? I don't know.
Anyway, the massage parlor. She was complaining because that other girl was getting preferential treatment by Bobby because he just wanted her to stay out
What is her
there.
name?
I don't know.
I could not find it. I went on IMDb.
Yeah.
She's not on there.
I think she's a new face, right? She's
Yeah.
just like new there. One of the girls called the little rooms a cum coffin, right? I think that's what she used.
Yeah.
Like it was fucking hilarious. She's like, I'm slaving away in that cum coffin, and you got her out here fucking having Chinese food. I thought that was great.
I thought they did a good job of while it's safer for the girls, they're not on the street. They're still in that life.
There's still problems.
There's still problems. You had the one girl OD, and I think Bernice / Ginger kind of hit her breaking point. She should not be doing this. The one that Darlene took from their hometown, like towards the end when she was crying.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like the guy did anything wrong.
Yeah.
It just seems like she was having almost like a panic attack.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not I don't think that's the life for her. It doesn't seem like there's some girls who just can, for whatever reason, can do it. But I thought it did a good job of showing, like, yes, they're back indoors. They're not on the street, but this is still, they're not accountants. They're not doctors. Like, they're still prostitutes. This is still, especially psychologically, it's still a very heavy occupation.
Yeah.
And the pimps, and I think we talked about this last week, or you mentioned it at least, that it was only a matter of time before the pimps were going to be like, hey, we're missing out, not necessarily financially because they're still being compensated, but they're so used to this way of life. And I thought it was a really funny exchange in the diner with Larry Brown and Cece and what's Method Man's character's name?
Shit, I always fucking get he's like not really one of the, I don't know his name.
But anyway, they're talking, and they talk about going to see Fantasia.
Yeah.
In the theater. And he's like, I don't know what to do with myself. He's like, I'm so used to waking up, being a pimp, getting ready for my night, and I didn't have to do that. So they go, they went to see Fantasia in the theaters. I
Rodney.
thought Rodney. He plays a great role.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And I like how Cece agreed. He's like, oh, no. Cece said it, and Rodney agreed. He's like, oh, I love that
And then
shit.
Larry Brown's like, Fantasia, really?
Yeah.
And then the thing that got him was like, yeah, man, they're talking hippo. And he's like,
Okay.
yeah, I got to see this.
Yeah.
Speaking of pimps, we are now, should we just talk?
Yeah.
I want to talk about
Pimpless.
this.
We're one pimp
one
down.
pimp down.
Yeah.
Reggie
Love.
And you know what? Again, this is why I love stuff that David Simon does. Reggie Love wasn't necessarily a guy you rooted for earlier in the season.
Yeah.
But he wasn't also a guy like you vehemently hated.
Yeah.
In this episode, I hated him.
Yeah, definitely.
He was a piece of trash.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this guy. Like, he's abusing the girls. He's being a dickhead.
Yeah.
And Leon
shoots him. Leon, the diner worker, owner, whatever.
So the actor's name is Anwan Glover.
He's very tall.
And in the Wire, he played a guy called Slim Charles.
Okay.
And he was a badass.
Oh, really?
He was awesome.
Okay.
And he has a very distinct voice.
Yeah.
So when he was in the show, I'm like, oh, it's Slim Charles. Like, it's weird to have this really good actor, this notorious guy, play this
Little
minor
character,
role.
Yeah.
Now we see why he was in that role.
Yep.
And is that the calmest TV murder?
Absolutely the calmest. He just pulls out a gun, shoots him. He had that planned.
Yeah.
Because if he saw her get like with the black eyes again or like get like treated wrong, he was gonna shoot her.
And we can't say what he said on the phone. But.
Can't say what he said on the phone. But I'm assuming he called the police and just
Yeah.
gave himself up. I wonder how that's gonna play out for him.
It strikes me as it was not going to be as. I just feel like
I don't think it's gonna be. I don't know if anything because he clearly this girl has black eyes, right? He could have been beaten on her again. He defended her, right? And there was no other witnesses. No. That one postal worker guy ran the hell out of there as fast as he could.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they don't have closed caption TV in there. Like there's no security cameras.
And I feel like the cops would be like, Reggie Love's dead. I mean, is that the worst thing in the world?
Right, exactly. And this is not an upstanding citizen. This is a pimp, who clearly beats his girls. Right, not going to be happy.
And I guarantee he had a gun on him or something.
Especially if you call, and I always forget his name. What is the main cop?
Alston.
Alston. What is his first name?
I don't know. Chris Alston, I think.
Maybe.
I know it's Alston last name.
So if he shows up there, he's not going to be sympathetic towards them because he is one of the guys that's like not a fan of the the way the pimps work and anything like that. So. That won't be great. But yeah, down Reggie Love. So now we got CC, we got Reggie Love's character, Method Man's character. Rodney. What's the white
Larry Brown?
Larry Brown.
I don't know the white guy.
Oh, what's the white guy's name? He's so good.
He's so
like
good.
An in and out character. The pimps are starting to realize that they are not needed anymore. They're still getting paid right now, but they're realizing they're not going to get. So that's an interesting thing moving forward. I'm trying to think of what else there. Oh, Candy fucking killing it on the porn shoot.
Yeah.
Like actually like getting the actresses and actors to like really like, feel comfortable. Who's the girl that she really like helps out, rubs her boobs down with Vaseline?
Lori.
Yes, Lori. Like really like gets her to be calm and like, helps her out. And Harvey's loving it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Harvey's like, yeah, like what is going on here? I love Harvey so much. I just watched something that he's like a little kid in. Oh shit, what was it? I don't know. Well, anyway, he was in it. He was like a little kid, and I'm like, oh my god, like what a different person he is right now. Though she still can't catch a break because now she's doing like these high end like hooker jobs.
Yeah, call girl things.
Yeah, and this guy's having sex with her, and then he finishes, and then he starts throwing up in the bathroom and tells her to leave.
Not ideal.
It's odd. Very odd.
Hopefully, you drank too much.
Yeah, I don't know, but like they were like having old fashioned. He's like ordering her food, like all this nice stuff, and then all of a sudden he throws up and he's like, "Get out, get out."
And I think that again goes to prove that like, yeah, she's in a safer environment than just like being a bottom barrel hooker, but at the same time, it's still awful, especially psychologically.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
absolutely. Shit. Why can't I? Again, what's her name? The one that Candy was helping out?
Lori.
She was watching her porn in the booth. Couldn't have been more proud. Loved it. I loved it so much. And then she was like, I was like, why doesn't she tell the guy next to him, like, hey, that's me in that porn. Like, that's me. And she's like, hey, check this out.
Isn't that such a weird way to watch porn with somebody right behind you?
And they're like waiting in line to jerk off. It's like, I got to get back to work. That's the guy saying. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
The guy, it's so funny that guy with the trench coat, like, they say that the people, they cut holes in the pockets. They can just like, what a strange thing. Imagine this is something that happened.
This happened.
It's crazy. They were like, they're waiting in line. Like, there's people in this little like porn shop.
Yeah.
They're waiting in line.
Do it in Providence.
But it looks like an arcade machine, and people are just looking into this little window and watching a porn.
It's in crazy.
That's wild.
Which is this on Netflix?
HBO. The Deuce. So let's talk about Frankie. So Frankie gets Rudy calls him up, and Rudy has that hilarious line where he's like, again, a great line. He was saying, he's like, I don't know what it is about you. Maybe it's that I think like that you're Frankie, and I hear the words come. You're Vincent. And I hear the words coming out of your mouth, and I expect the same amount of trust. I don't have that yet, but I'm gonna take your word for it, or whatever. However he says it, and he like lets him go. But Frankie's really like, I don't know. He kind of came. He was on the up and up. This he did go see that. That
Boys in the Sand. I couldn't get into the plot.
That was great.
Love
really Paul. A big fan of Paul as a character. Abby's come around on me.
It's cool because they introduced really her family more than not, and you can kind of see where why she's doing what she's doing now.
Sure.
And it might be like a tired trope of like she has a rich family and she doesn't want to be like them.
Yeah.
But it works in this universe because you've seen what world she's diving into. This isn't like this is a very seedy underbelly of culture.
Yes. Yes.
So I think it works the contrast of what her family wants her to be, and talk about her dad not having faith in her.
Yeah.
Going up to Vincent and saying, "Are you paying her to have sex with her?" It's
Yeah.
like, wow. So you just think because your daughter isn't this rich socialite, she has to be a prostitute.
Yeah.
Like, dude, fuck you. Like,
And
I
then-
wouldn't want to be a daughter either.
And then he threw her money because she was so proud that she was like bar backing, and then she gave that money, ended up writing that signing the check over to Ashley and helping her out get out of there. What's the deal with Ashley though now? So we helped Ashley get out of the. Again, this is the second prostitute that she's helped get out of being a prostitute.
Yeah. Darlene came back.
Darlene came back. Why did she look? She like almost was in tears when she was walking away at the bus station.
You know, I think they've done a good job of showing us that, in a way, it's not a choice for a lot of these girls.
Yeah, it's just a way of
It
life.
is, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to be? Again, this is back in the 70s. You know, there's no women's rights movement. There's no feminism thing really going on. So if you're not educated, if you don't have a family to fall back on, this was something that woman unfortunately had to do. And I think it showed that some people are, I don't want to say okay with it. Some people are used to it. Someone like a Darlene, someone like a Lori, someone like Candy. They kind of understand that this is what I do.
Yeah.
This is what we do. And then there's people like Ashley who, to me, seems like she leans towards that side of it.
Yeah.
Because say she leaves wherever she's going, I think it's almost scarier for her to face the unknown than it is to continue doing what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
She would rather wake up every day as a prostitute than wake up tomorrow not knowing how she's going to make money. As bad as it was for her with her pimp, I think it's scarier for her to wake up and not have any direction.
Sure.
Then for Cece, although he abuses her, although he's an awful person, there's some control in her life.
Right.
There's some direction in her life. Whereas she wakes up and she has no control or direction, it seems that's almost scarier to her.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I took it. And that's why I think instead of, and it was a great camera shot by Franco, who's directing the episode, and the camera's behind her, and she can just take the money, take the pass, and go.
Yeah.
But what does she do? She turns around and she looks back.
Yeah.
Because she's looking back at what she's leaving.
Yeah.
And she's like, do I want to leave this? Even though it's hell, it's a certain hell.
And from Abby's angle, she looks like, oh, great. Like she's heading off and she's starting a new chapter of her life. But then when you cut to the other way, she's sad. She's like, she has that inner conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Abby should kind of know better. I mean, she tried it with Darlene, and Darlene came back.
Yeah.
Like, this is what they know.
That's the thing, yeah. But really, Frankie kind of put that into motion, set those wheels into motion, kind of, right?
Yeah, well, because I think he kind of knew. He's dealt with the pimps before.
Yeah.
Like, if Ashley comes back and Cece finds out that she wasn't earning and she was with Frankie all day, Frankie's going to get a beating.
Yeah.
Or worse.
Yeah, sure.
So he's kind of smart, being like, no, you should go. You know, you should get the hell out of here. Don't let this fall back on me. And this is the penultimate episode.
Oh, it's too bad. It's too bad.
There's season 2. It got renewed. Already,
awesome. Yeah,
but
yeah.
still, I mean, I don't know. I really enjoy a show that doesn't. I feel like too often TV shows now, they get bogged down in. It could be a boring episode, but they'll do something. They'll do a death. They'll do an explosion. They'll do something to be like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah,
and that's all you remember from the episode. But with The Deuce, you remember every little thing because the writing matters, the characters matter, the story matters. So it might not be as flashy as other shows, but you kind of remember each character's arc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I
I think they're
absolutely.
doing a good
I
job.
agree with you. They're doing a great job. I love this episode. Love the whole series. Really into it. This is going to be one that I look forward to next year when it comes back. Hopefully next year.
And I think it's going to have a good rewatchability factor too. Like you'll go back, you'll catch some lines here and there.
Yeah.
And the acting's just really good.
Because there's a lot of times with shows like this where you have a lot of characters, you don't know what characters are going to be around for the long haul. They could be just like float in, float out. So now when you rewatch it, you kind of realize like, okay, Lori's not just some girl getting off a bus that's going to start pimping with Cece. Like she's a huge part of the show now. So you pay more attention to her, pay more attention to this character, whatever.
And people are evolving.
Yeah.
Like that's what more can you ask for in a TV show that they evolve.
I love that they're not. So the whole cop thing with the new boss now coming down and now Ralph Macchio's getting in the fucking like
I think
pay him money.
I think he's in over his head.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So that's getting a little fucked up with that. But I like that they're not leaning on the trope like / crutch of like, oh, you better get the mob their money or else the mob's going to come out and like end you. Like, I love that that's not like the whole thing.
The mob's like almost in the shadows.
Because we talked about this from the beginning. Like, we were nervous, like, oh, Rudy, like, you're not supposed to get involved with people like that. It's going to go bad for Frankie. It's going to go bad for Vincent. But come to find out, like, Frankie's excelling with Rudy. And Vincent's doing fine with the bar. And he's, like, made it very clear. He's like, Bobby's running the parlor.
And
besides the... Besides the girl that had to, get taken to the hospital for like the heroin overdose, I assume.
That's what. Because they said they put her
methadone,
Narcan.
Yes,
So that's like the basic jumpstarts your heart again.
So like besides that, and then like the issue with like those two girls,
stealing.
Yeah, stealing the money.
The girl who overdosed,
exactly,
putting money in her underwear.
Yeah. So
I like Black Frankie.
Yeah, check the cooch. Check the cooch.
He knows.
He knows. Black Frankie knows. So I think it's great. I'm excited for the last episode, and I like that they're not doing that whole mob thing. Like it's a story standing on its own. It's not like the typical, mob story. Yeah. So cool. And who do you think would be in the spot right now where we're like Frankie's a good guy? Frankie's. I trust Frankie.
Things up.
Yeah, me too. I was like, you trust Frankie. Frankie's a guy you trust.
Yep.
Not we weren't saying that episode 1.
No,
we were not saying that. So that's great. The Deuce, man. And so next week the Deuce will end. We'll talk about the Deuce, the last episode, the finale, and we'll keep talking about Walking Dead. And then what comes? We'll hopefully, both of us will be done with Stranger Things. So maybe we'll talk about Stranger Things.
I'll probably be done with Stranger Things by Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, I assume that Stranger Things will be done by this weekend. Yeah. So, one way or the other. So that's it. And then we'll keep talking Walking Dead. We'll talk Stranger Things. We'll talk the end of the Deuce. And then, is there anything big coming down the pike for as far as shows go? It's kind of a dead time.
Yeah, because I mean, it's next week's November.
Yeah. Well, The Walking Dead will go into December and then take their break, or November and take their break.
8 episodes. So it'll go into mid-December.
And then it'll come back February. Okay. All right,
we'll find something.
Rob, sorry you had to be so quiet on this part. I'm sorry you don't watch these shows.
No, I wish
I could chat with us.
I don't have... I only get time for a couple of shows a week.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to eventually check out Discovery, so I'm excited for that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's a great show. It's amazing. It's sad that the way you gave it an intro tonight. I can't believe it. You made it sound like it was shitty.
When?
Tonight. You made it's like, oh yeah, not too many people I know watch this.
No, well, I don't know anybody that has not. I'm not saying nobody's watched that.
I'm so
that has CBS access.
That's the big problem.
But no, so what I've heard though is that they're working on adding shows to CBS access, like new content.
Yeah.
So so once they get going like that, Star Trek is going to serve as a really good base for the beginning of their.
I believe Star Trek Discovery will definitely be on Netflix. And what will happen is...
You think so?
You will have to wait a year to get... It's on Netflix in other countries.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe. We have to wait a while.
We got to see how it works out, but I recommend everybody watch it.
Yeah.
Diverse from all this stupid rape and crime shit. It's ridiculous, right?
There's a lot of it on.
Oh, my God.
Crime shows are very popular.
Oh, yeah.
Rob, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
I think
this is a good one.
This is a good one. You guys do a great job.
We're on our game this fight.
If there's anything, I'm the one who brought it down a couple of times.
No way.
No, sir.
No way. You stopped that.
That was awesome.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Yeah, everyone have a good week.